Hi, it is 6:45 on a Tuesday, and I'm glad you're here. If you're here, if you're coming back on for the after this is posted, we are making little leaves for a autumn or fall garland. So that's what we're doing today. These are super cute, and I will show you what we're doing. Plus, there will be a surprise later on after we get the leaf made. So I have a really cute surprise for y'all. Anyway, this is what we're going to be making today, and I appreciate y'all coming on. Let me know if you're there. Hi, bees. How are you today? I hope you are doing great. I hope you are doing great. My name is Sarah, by the way. I don't know if I've said that before. I know I've said it on a video or two in a long time. And you have the name VBS on your name, or you did. I was wondering why. Are you into VBS? Like, that is really cool. I do VBS at our church, and I love it. I do the craft section, actually. Let me go and what's going on? How do I join this? I'm trying to join. I'm trying to join myself so I can see the comments. It's not working. I'm still trying to get this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this works. And I'm going to make sure I'm muted over here. Yes. Okay. Soup, I hope. I hope you meant soup. Well, I hope it's delicious soup, and I'm glad you're here. We will be making these little leaves today. So this is what we're going to learn in the tutorial, basically. I'll show y'all where I got the pattern from. And I will definitely be talking about the different styles here, because there's several styles and there's issues I had with some of these. So this is what we're doing today. It is an autumn leaf garland, and I have a surprise. So if you didn't hear that while ago, I have a surprise today. So hello everyone, and thank you for coming, and I'm about to get into the tutorial. Let's get this moved. There we go. And switch. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll go ahead and talk about the different kinds that we have here and the reason why they're different. This was the first one I made. And hi, Rose. Hi, Goldfish. And let's see, Rose, yes, hi. Goldfish, hi. We want to see the cute face. Oh, well, I just had my face on there. And we're going to look at these cute little leaves now, because this is the star of the show today. This one is made out of cotton. And this one is acrylic, and these are acrylic. Now, I did different things. I don't know if y'all have done blocking before, but this is the first blocking try that I did. And I've heard that you're supposed to put glue on it or put something on it and wet it and then iron it. Well, this one I put between wax paper, and I just tried to iron it just a little bit so it would, you know, hold its shape a little bit. And it's going to hold its shape because that wax paper melted directly to it. So, yeah. 3 new world records. What's the world record? Yeah, maybe a little, Goldfish. I do. Cotton, now I'm hungry. What's cotton? Okay. Well, anyway, this being cotton, this is a pretty cool one. This is cotton, and it's a variegated yarn. And it is, I soaked it in starch, and then I ironed it. I don't really like, I like the colors and I love it, but I don't like how it flattened out the stitches. So that is something I won't be doing again because I don't like how it turned out. The stitches just kind of, you can see they look flat. They're ironed and it's got starch. So I bet I could wash this though because it's 100% in cotton. And so this is beautiful in the front. It didn't melt with the iron, but the wax paper melted to it. Okay. Now let's talk about this one is unblocked. But see, when you hang it, you're going to have a trouble keeping it straight and looking like a leaf. That is why we block them. This one is my favorite. And I'll tell you what I did to this one. I soaked it in glue. I just literally took the bottle of Elmer's glue and I just drizzled it all over here. And then I pressed it down with my fingers. Just pressed the whole thing down. And I did leave a cutout on this one. We'll talk about that when we start making it. But then I took a heat gun and it did melt it a little bit. And you can kind of see that right there. It kind of melted it a little bit. So this one is my favorite out of all of them. So glue and a heat gun, and it kind of melts it into a stiff, where when you hang it on the garland, it's going to hold its shape. Okay. So let me get into the right thing here. Give me just a second. Oh, I can't rotate it. Sorry. Tried to rotate this. Okay. And I'm going to pop that right there. Let's make sure this is working. Hi, Abigail. Hint for ironing or crochet work. Make sure it's not acrylic, first of all. Yes. That is one hint. And we're going to get started on this tutorial here in a second. I hope everybody is doing well. I used wax paper. And that did not work. But my favorite one is the glue and the heat gun. So this one turned out the best, I think, for all of this. And there's, you know, it's cracking in and not good. But this one can be washed. So I'm happy with this one. And hopefully it will, you know, I might just make it into a scrubber or something. So there we go. And this one's unblocked. And you see how it's curling up. It looks all funny. So let's put these to the side, and that's just a lid I had for the glue. And we are going to pick our colors. And since we have all of these colors already, we're going to use this bright yellow. Now, I talked about a surprise. The photograph, I do have a surprise later. Let's go into here, and I gotta find the picture that I'm gonna show you. Here we go. Okay, so this is the pattern we are using. This was on Pinterest. So if you do not know how to follow this pattern, I am going to help you figure that one out. This is what we're going to do. This is exactly as I copied it today. Now, I didn't copy it, but like I'm not using this pattern exactly, but this is the picture I used to make my leaf. So, and I don't know whose this is. I believe the name is right here at the bottom. but I am not able to read it completely. It's in a different language. Ajama Ja. So I'm not sure. And these symbols, I can't go by this guide because it's not in English either. Or I don't understand what it's saying. So anyway, let's get started on our autumn leaf. And I don't remember who requested the autumn leaf. So I hope they come on, even if it's later, and they could come see this later. So anyway, we've got 4 on right now. I thank y'all for being here. And I'm really happy about these leaves. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip stitch first. And then we're going to chain about 17 to 20. Now the pattern itself says 17. So, but this one here, I did 20. So it is a little bit bigger. Yeah, it is. So let's go with 17 for now, because this one is my favorite. And I took a chunk out. You know how dried leaves have a piece missing? That's what that is. So I tried to make it a little more natural. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Well, I thank y'all for being here. I don't know who's still on, but I'm so glad you're here. And I hope that you are wanting to learn to make some leaves today. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do into this stitch here, the second stitch from the hook. Make sure we can get up there. And we're going to do a single stitch, a single crochet, and then we're going to do another single crochet. And this is into our chain of 17. Now you can make it 20 if you want to make it a little bigger. You can use any color yarn that you want, and you can use any size yarn that you want, I'm sure. This is basic acrylic with a 3.25 hook. Okay, so we did 3 single crochets. Now we're going to go in the next chain and do 3 double crochets. Not in the next chain, 3 doubles, but we're going to do 3 doubles down the row. It's kind of like you're making a baby shoe. So, and then we're going to get larger after these 3. Hello, hello everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. So this one is going to be a triple. So you loop it around your hook twice, and then you go in the hole and you work it exactly like you do a double, but it takes a 3rd time. So we're going to do quite a few of these. Oops, let's see. Didn't hook it in right there. So this is another triple, and then loop it twice, go in the hole. I think there's like 6 of these, and then on the very end we're going to put 5. Loop it twice and go in. Whoops, little puppy hair there. How has y'all's week been so far? Have you had a good week this week? It's not been very long yet, but I have had an excellent week so far. And I had an interview on Monday, and that went really well. So I'm hoping that one works out. And then today was a quiet day at home, where I got to work on some projects and get some things done. And these leaves were one of those projects. So 2 loops, and we're almost to the end here. So what was your exciting thing of today? Anything good happened today? We're going to do 5 triple crochets into the very last chain. So there's your second one. And we're going to do another one. Make sure we're in that last chain. And then we're going to do 2 more. Bees, you sure are being quiet tonight. How was your day today? You're probably still eating your soup. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that last hook. And we are going to, well, I did a double. I need to do a triple. Yep, we're going to do 6 triples back down. This is the internal part of the leaf. So we're going to go right in here, not this one, but this one right here. And you can kind of tuck your tail in these stitches. Let's see. Do another one that's 3. And actually, you could make some of this size without the second layer. Okay, now we're going to switch to double. And this is kind of like making a baby shoe, a little baby booty. And one more double. And then we're going to do a couple of half doubles. Now you can alternate this, and you can do a shorter chain. Whoops. You can do a shorter chain, and you can go only up to to a double, not a triple. I'm about to do a half double. So you can alter this and change it as you go. We're going to do one more half double. You want to get smaller stitches here, and then you want longer stitches as you go. And so you can adjust that to however long you want your chain. Just kind of adjust it to how you want it. And this would be a super cute little leaf by itself with just the stem. So when I make my garland, I'm probably going to make some of those. And then we're going to switch to single stitches. And if you really want to make it tight on the end, you can do a slip stitch and just pull it through. Slip stitch and pull it through. Now, I don't know who all heard about the surprise. I'd like to wait till there's about 25 people on. And we have a little surprise at not at the end, but we're going to make it after we do the leaf, because it's super cute. Now this is the first step in your leaf. You've got your chain. You do singles, doubles, and you can do singles, half doubles, doubles, triples, and you go triples all the way around. You go back to doubles, half doubles, singles, and then slip stitches. And that makes it skinny up here at the end. There we go. And then we are going to do a chain. And we're going to go ahead in this one right here. And we're going to do 2 singles in the next 2 chains, the next 2 stitches. Now the next stitch, we're going to start making these little curves, okay? So we are going to do a double. And don't want to go in the same stitch again, we got to go in the stitch. So we're going to do a double, and then we're going to do a triple. We're going to do 3 triples in the same space, Mother, are you still on the video? The answer to your question is yes, but high school. My hands are a little occupied right now to text that, but maybe you're on the video. But anyway, we have a double and 3 triples in the same hole. Okay, then you're going to go and you're going to do, in the next stitch, you're going to do, say, a half double. Now you can go back to just a single there, but I like to do the half double and then a single. And then the next one you do a double. So you're making these lumps along the way, along the side of the leaf. And now we're going to do 3 triples in the same stitch as that double. Okay. So how many of you are crocheters and how many of you are crocheting some of these leaves? I'm very curious. We're going to go to a single on this one. You can kind of change it up as you go on each one if you like. You can do each one all the same. So it's just kind of your preference once you get started. Then we're going to go double here. Yes. I don't want to stop crocheting on the video to type it though. Okay. I'll be at the high school Wednesday and Friday. Okay, here we go. We need one more triple on this extension of the leaf. And then we're going to go and do a single in the next stitch. And that brings it back down. And then you can do, say, a slip stitch. And then we're going to go into a double. This works up really quickly when you're sitting and just doing them. Once you get the hang of it and you make quite a few, you can do them pretty quickly. These are really fun to work up. I didn't realize they were so much fun. I got caught up there. Let's fix that one. Okay. There we go. So that's 2. And we got to get our 3rd in here. And then we're going to go back down to a single. Single crochet, single crochet. And then we're going to go into a double. I was really glad that this one was requested last week. I do have some ideas for the next couple of live videos though. Got some ideas going. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go down into a single. And then we do another single. Now if you want to take and put the cutout as if the leaf chipped off, all you would do is slip stitch for just a couple and skip one. Just go 3 of those. So we'll just skip that one there and act like the bottom of the leaf is broken off. So then we want to do a double in the next one. And that will make the next one start right there. And then we'll do a triple. We're almost to the end of this and we do have a surprise. I love this little surprise, y'all. I kind of just threw it together. But it's so cute and it's so easy that anybody can pretty much learn it as long as they just keep trying. Because it's kind of fun to make. And there's not really a pattern, so you can't really mess it up. It's just super cute. We're just going to keep going on this leaf. And now we did a double and we need some triples. Now I also have a maple leaf pattern, which I could do next. got several leaf patterns, but this is the one I kind of landed on today. I really love it. And then we're going to go into the next one and do a double, triple in the same hole. Each one of these is a double and 3 triples. So, I think bees took off. And goldfish, are you still here? And Rose, are you still here? Y'all are being real quiet tonight. Okay, and we're going to go right down here to the bottom. Do a single. And let's go ahead and do a slip stitch there. See, that one crumbled off at the bottom. So you can make them different as you go around on each leaf. And they're real cool. Okay, so let's do our double right here. And then we're going to do some triples in that same hole. Will you tell my nephew I said hi? I know he's a little macho for his aunt, but just let him know I said hi. And we're going to do singles to the end, and then we're going to slip stitch this in. And our leaf is pretty much done, except for the stem. Now we're going to go right up here in the end before we do the stem. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of guesstimation. You can kind of do it. Still here. Oh yes, even men crochet in that. A lot of them do. There's a few I like to watch on YouTube as well. We're going to go in here and do a double. And then we're going to do some singles the rest of the way up the chain. How long has this been so far? It's only 27 minutes. I haven't done the maple leaf yet. So I'm going to do that on a different video. Because it's going to be it'll be a little more difficult than this one. So this one's a little different than the others. Because I let the crunchy part of the leaf fall off there and down here. So you've got it like this. It's a little different. But we're going to go ahead and tie this off. Okay. And once you put your starch or your glue, if you want to do that and block them off, they'll be pretty straight when they hang. I really love how that one handled. I really do. For a garland anyway. Plus, if you have the starch on there or the glue, it will help it not collect so much dust when it sits in your house. So, because you'll have it hanging up for a little while, possibly through some fireplace soot and all that stuff. I don't know if any of y'all have that, but if it's just plain fabric, you can still wash it after. You can always just wash it, put it in a pillowcase and wash it. And even the glue is not going to wash out, it's just going to wash it off. You would wash it on delicate. But this here is the leaves. These are the leaves. This is the video on how to do the leaves. And you can block them however you like. Or you can leave them unblocked, like these two. So you have different options. Okay? So that is the leaf. And the surprise now. I know we only have 7 watching, but I'm not going to not give you a surprise just because we didn't get enough. So here it is. It is a little acorn that you can hang from your garland with your leaves. So it's a little, it's stuffed and it's cute. And we're about to make this because this is only 30 minutes so far. Let's see. Sugar water. Huh, sugar water. Yep. And that would work. That worked for the olden days. I think the glue is probably very similar to that. So this is what we're about to make now. And you won't have to starch this one. You just hang it from your garland when you make your garland. Now you can use, what am I trying to say? You can use a chain of crochet. You crochet a long chain, or you could use a ribbon or whatever you like and sew them onto the ribbon, or just crochet or sew them onto the crochet chain, or you can crochet them into the chain. So this is the brown I've got still. This is actually going to be our stuffing. I know, I'm using yarn for the stuffing today. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a slip stitch, but we're not going to pull it through. Okay, this is going to be our magic circle. So you're going to chain one, and you're going to do 6 single crochets right into this. 2, 3, 4, whoops, 5, and 6. Okay, and then we are going to pull that string and make it come around into our little magic circle. So this one's going to be fun. Let me get those little leaves a little bit further out of the way here. Get him up there. And then we are going to slip stitch this together. And you're going to do chain 1. If you like, you can do it all the way around and just carry it around in the circle without the chains, if you like. Yes, I love the acorn. It's so cute. It's in the picture of the leaf pattern. So this is where I got it. Right there in the corner. I don't know if you can see that. So I just made one because it was cute. So that is our little surprise that we're doing. And we're going to do 2 singles in each space. I think Bees took off. I think he's not here. And Rose and Goldfish, I don't know if y'all are here. Are y'all still hanging around? Okay, well, that's all right. Maybe y'all will come back and watch later and find our little acorn. Because this one is so cute. Now, you don't want to go more than that, really, before you start going up. So we're going to go 1 stitch now in each. So 1, 2, 3, and it's going to start curling. 4. I think that skipped one. That's okay if you skip one, because you're going to need to start skipping some a little bit, because you're going to tighten it up. But you don't want to skip too many. Skipping them is going to make it smaller. So do it once or twice and that's it. And then you go straight up all the way. So this acorn is pretty little. You just got to kind of keep your thumb inside and make it go around. Well, I'm really glad y'all are here tonight. I planned this one ahead so you would know it was coming. And let's keep going. We don't want it too big, but you want to be able to stuff it. So you just keep going until you have it just big enough. I think that's perfect. So we're going to cut it off and close it up. Okay, now you've got 2 strings here. Now I didn't stuff this one very firm. Could be a lot firmer. So let's stuff that string right in there. That's all I did with the other one, is I used a little bit of yarn. So this is a cute little acorn. There we go. And then we're going to make the top. Whoops, that's a scrap. Maybe I'll just use the scraps in it. Now we are going to do the same thing for the beginning. We're going to do a chain, and then we are going to do 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This little acorn is our surprise. So here is his top. We've got to give him a hat. And then we're going to slip stitch this together. It's a little tricky when you get this tiny. And then we're going to chain 1. And we're going to go 2 stitches each stitch. It's a little hard to see the stitches right now, but just kind of feel it and kind of go with it. And this is going to be the cutest little garland. I'm hoping I can make some more and get this really made into a really pretty garland. Not sure where I'll put it yet though. I bet my mom's house could use it. Right? And this is the staticky yarn that I've got that I'm using right now. And 2, and that's it. Okay. We're going to slip stitch that together. Now, this is just big enough to go over the edge there. So we're going to go 1 stitch per stitch now. So it will come down. Okay, so let's go around one more time. Go all the way. And that will give it the turn that it needs to cup over the bottom. Now in the description, if you're watching this now or later, is my other fall videos. If you would like to go check out the link to the other videos that I did for the fall decor, the cup cozies and the coasters and things. I also have a pumpkin somewhere. I need to update my pumpkin though. There we go. There's his little lid. And there it is. So we have a little tiny acorn. It's so cute. Okay, now what you do is you take your needle and all you're going to do is sew it in. But we're going to take some of this brown first because there's not really enough. Take a little bit more. Why not? You can use some polyfill at this point. But earlier I didn't have it with me because I didn't plan on stuffing anything. And so I just used a little bit of yarn because it's so tiny. It won't matter. Here we go. We're going to stuff a little more in there. There. So he'll be a little firmer than the other one. Now you can make this a little bit bigger. This one's smaller than my first one. There. And then we're just going to sew this on with just, you can go with a whip stitch right here and go around. You can do it with a straight line stitch. Crocheting it seemed a little bit too difficult a while ago, so I just ended up stitching it on. And you just use your long tails and you have a little stitch here. This is so cute. I love it. And we're just going to go to right there. Yeah, that's long enough. And we're going to sew this in and sew it in over to here. We'll just leave it there for now. Then we're going to take the other one and we are going to finish sewing this top on. Right here, you just catch it on both pieces and go around. And you can kind of adjust it as you go a little bit. Make sure that's popped out. This is a really cute addition to your garland with the leaves. Maybe next week I will have a day we can do the maple leaf. I will try to do that and see if I can get that done. I don't know if it'll be a video or a live video, but I will try to get that done soon. And then we just cut those off. And now he needs his, look, it's so cute. This yarn is a mess. Okay, then we take our top. We're going to tie a knot here first. It stays on better if you slip stitch that over your hook. Okay, and you're going to go right in the center here, through the center, through the magic hoop, the magic circle. You're going to pull that through there. Whoops, I lost it. This tiny is really hard for me to work with, although I love it. Through the center and through that first row, and then you hook it and pull it through. And you're going to give it a chain. Let's just do 3 on this one since it's so little. Then you do single crochet, back down the chain, and then into the body. And that's it. You turn it off, and you can slip that right through. Now it's taking its time. There we go. So you have a little top for your acorn. It's so cute. I love this one. We're going to take our needle and just sew in that end so it is secure and trim it off. And we have one more. So I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I have some interesting things going on. I'm working on a digital download for y'all to put on my website. I don't have it ready yet, but it is coming soon. It will be a free document for y'all to use to keep up with projects. This is the cutest little thing. I love these. Oh my goodness. They're so adorable. I'm sorry I say everything is cute and adorable, but it is. And these leaves are so pretty. This has been one of my favorite things so far. There's the little acorns. Okay, well, I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. And if you came back and watched it after the live, I thank you for coming back and watching. This has been really fun. I had fun today making these other leaves. That doesn't make a good picture, does it? Let's get that last picture there. I don't know if that works. Maybe this one's out of place. There we go. Fill that screen up. Alrighty, well, I thank y'all for being here. And I hope you will come back again to another video. And I will see you on the next one. You are very welcome, and I will see you later. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.